This is how the other side of the war in Afghanistan is selling their war to their own people.
بغیر چې موږ کوم کاروي کوو د الله په مدد باندې نو دې ته قهر صلیب نوموي دا د دې نوم دی الله دې وکړي چې موږ ته د کافرانو سرونه راکړي او ملګرو د نیره استي کولو کوشش کوو.
The flags of every country currently fighting the Taliban and Al Qaeda, including Australia, are symbolically burnt as an introduction to this Al Qaeda recruitment video. This and other videos obtained by Dateline in the Afghan capital Kabul reveal not only the hardline Islamic focus of the fighters' motivation, but their increasingly sophisticated techniques. The tactics in Iraq have now come to Afghanistan. In this section filmed on the eastern Pakistan-Afghan border, Arab instructors teach Afghan recruits. The Afghans are shown how to construct IEDs, improvised explosive devices, the single biggest killers of coalition forces in Iraq. This chant is the official Al Qaeda recruitment song, adapted from poetry and used in videos.
مجدها ونفك قيد الذل من شجعانها وتعيد قوم إذا دوى النفير تطايروا يشرون
لري د پاسه بداو جماعت کینی او بمونه بخخ کی او ځان بتیار کی د مخ کینی
سالت دماؤهم على وجناتهم ليفوح
يلا توكلنا على الله تحرك وهي جنود الله
دا ورونه دي چې راوتی د الله د دین د غالب کول لپاره او د الله په مدد باندې دیو تاسو څوک ضرر نشي رسولای چې څوک د خلاف کوي.
As the commentary reveals the religious fervour that drives the fighters, another tape shows the effects of the bombs. The targets are cars driven by foreign aid workers, employees of the Afghan government, or coalition troops themselves. The messages on the tape are simple calls to arms and reveal the links from Iraq to Afghanistan.
وأقول للشعب العراقي الأبي الأصيل الذي رفع رأس الأمة الإسلامية في العالم بالخصوص في عالم العرب الإسلامي: يا أبناء العراق، يا أبناء المسلمين في العراق وفي أرض الخلافة، اضربوا أعداءكم وأعداء الإسلام وقاتلوهم ولا تتركوهم أن يمشوا في بلادكم يمرحون ويسرحون وأنتم تنظرون إليهم.
Other messages use religion as a motivator against the Americans.
اخو د دین لالوی دی او تاسو اوریدلې خبره چې کوم جنرال امریکي بوکین ویل دا چې هغه په خپل یو عبادت خانه کې داسې خبرې کولې چې دا یو جنگ دی، دا د عقایدو جنگ دی زمونږ او د شیطان په منځ کې. نو څه مقصد دی د شیطان نه؟ آیا دی رب العزت ته شیطان وایي چې الله ویلي دی موږ ته چې و جنګېږي د کافرانو سره تر دې پورې چې کوپر ختم شي او شي غلبه د دین د یو الله دپاره.
But for analyst and NATO civilian spokesman Mark Leahy, the tapes are just blatant propaganda.
terrorizing people. The aim of these videos is to make their opponents afraid. It's not about information, it's not about informing the public. It's basically crude propaganda designed to terrorize and to gain support. And so I think in a way it reflects a mindset where blustering, boasting is seen as a way of enhancing support and terrorizing other people. And I don't think it should be seen as serious information, because it isn't.
For Kabul University Professor of Political Science, Dr Wadir Hafzi, the tapes are more than just propaganda.
The people also, when especially they hear these types and they see these videos, even if they are supporting the government or the foreign troops, they stop. They stop because they see that the Al Qaeda is alive, Taliban are alive, and they are doing mistakes. So there is one day, there will be one day that these people will come and will again take over the power.
The tactics may be from Iraq, but it is Afghans carrying out the suicide bombings. This motorbike strapped with bombs was used in a devastating attack carried out by this man, an Afghan dressed as a government soldier. It is a now familiar address, the doomed suicide bomber's final statement. He's riding towards an Afghan National Army base on the outskirts of Kabul. It is September 2005. He detonates, killing 9 Afghan soldiers and wounding 28. He dies instantly. The day before I left Kabul, I filmed these convoys at precisely the same section of road where he bombed the previous year. The soldiers are on high alert. Attacks are more common now. Over a year ago, 20 people were killed when suicide bombers targeted this street. What they were after was government buildings and foreign contractors who were working for the government and training police. Now, since that time, the threat has only increased. And what we see in these Al Qaeda, Taliban videos, call them what you will, is they are trying to take advantage of the failings of the coalition, the failings of the American forces, the failings of the government, and use that to engender more support for their cause. And of course, more suicide bombings, more attacks in town, and more attacks on coalition targets. Just last Sunday, another suicide bomber killed 3 on the same road outside the capital. It was part of the biggest upsurge in violence since the Taliban fell in 2001. In just the past week, 305 people have been killed. "300 Australian troops are on the ground now fighting this war, and another 240 are arriving soon. 5 have already been wounded." It is a war that is clearly hotting up, and the enemy is getting stronger.
And we'll be running John's extended report from Afghanistan's increasingly violent south, where the Australian contingent is headed, in 2 weeks' time. Well, now to East Timor and its latest worrying upheaval. Earlier this month, East Timor's Foreign Minister, Jose Ramos Horta, told us here on Dateline that after earlier clashes with rebel soldiers, the government had, quote-unquote, woken up and was acting swiftly to curb any further incidents. Well, it looks like they didn't act swiftly enough. Today, more gun battles broke out across Dili, with at least 2 killed and 7 injured. Terrified East Timorese are fleeing the fighting, foreigners are being evacuated, and now foreign peacekeepers, including from this country and New Zealand, are on the way. Yesterday, Dateline reporter David O'Shea was in the firing line when bullets and grenades started flying between rival Timorese soldiers in the hills outside Dili. This morning, it was the front page, not just the front line, for our man on the spot. And earlier this evening, I asked David to tell us what was actually going on in the fledgling nation. David, it's good to talk to you because yesterday there were moments when we were very worried about you. I mean, how much danger did you feel as though you were in yesterday?
Well, I felt like I was in a bit of danger this afternoon, actually, as well, but yesterday was very serious. Yesterday was... Sorry, there's a bit of movement behind me here, and there's whole UN cars moving everywhere. It's been like this all day, so if I sound distracted, I'm just trying to figure out what's happening behind me.
Understood, understood.
Yesterday was extremely serious. I was caught up in an intense gun battle. It got even more serious when the grenades started going off. We've got ambulances going by now. It's all happening here.
David, you just finished an interview with Major Alfredo Ronaldo, one of the leaders of the so-called rebel troops. When the shooting started, you were actually talking with him. Who fired the first shot, David? Could you